All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 2 of Dave, the Economist, talking with ChatGPT. Once again, this comes from our Chinese magazine that we're so in love with. What we're going to be focusing on today is talking about QR codes, the economics behind it, and the reality and the world that is surrounding Asia and the use of mobile payments. All right, Mr. ChatGPT, do me a big favor. Before this call, I had you generate an entire paragraph of all of our research. Why don't you take the floor and go ahead and tell us everything that we learned about?
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of Dave the Economist talking with ChatGPT. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of QR code payments in Asia and the economic impact of mobile payments across the region. So here's the scoop. QR code payments are booming in Southeast Asia, with projections showing a growth of up to 590% by 2028. The value of QR payments in the Asia Pacific region is expected to reach a staggering $1.2 trillion by 2029. This growth is fueled by high smartphone penetration, booming tourism, and the convenience of mobile wallets like Alipay Plus, WeChat Pay, and UnionPay. Several Southeast Asian countries have established national QR code frameworks like Singapore's SGQR and Indonesia's QRIS, making it easier for consumers and merchants to transact. Regional initiatives are also linking these systems across borders, promoting financial inclusion and enabling seamless cross-border transactions. Despite the rapid adoption, challenges like interoperability, security concerns, and digital literacy remain. However, with ongoing regulatory support and technological advancements, QR codes are set to become a cornerstone of the digital economy in Asia. And that's the overview. Let's dive deeper into these topics. What do you think, Dave?
Sure. Yeah. So let's get into it. First things first is what are the age demographics? Who's using it? Where? And more specifically, why?
Great questions. So when it comes to age demographics, QR code payments in Southeast Asia tend to be most popular among younger and tech-savvy individuals, typically in the 18 to 35 age range. This group is very comfortable with smartphones and is always looking for convenient, cashless payment options. In terms of geography, we're seeing a huge uptake in countries like Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines. These countries have strong mobile infrastructure and government support for digital payment initiatives. And the big why comes down to convenience, speed, and accessibility. People love the fact that they can just scan a code and pay instantly without needing cash or cards. It's also a big boost for financial inclusion, allowing even small businesses and those without traditional banking access to participate in the digital economy. So that's the breakdown. What's next on your mind, eh?
Well, I would say that the next thing to do that I always love doing is comparing the two largest economies to each other, the United States of America and Beijing. So this is my question, my friend. When we're looking at these two, why is it that Apple Pay, now maybe you can get some data for me and we can really get into it, but we use Apple Pay here in America. Maybe you use Samsung Pay, maybe any of the other garbage that they have you use. Other than that, we have debit cards, credit cards, and of course, the best thing in the world, cash. And okay, maybe one or two of you that are big nerds and losers, you'll do Bitcoin. But the point that I'm trying to get to, Mr. ChatGPT, is the following. Why is it that I feel that Asia has taken on more to this than us?
That's a really interesting comparison, Dave. So let's break it down. In the US, we have a mix of payment methods: Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, credit cards, debit cards, cash, and even a bit of Bitcoin for the tech enthusiasts. The US has a very well established credit and debit card infrastructure, and people are used to those systems. Plus, there's a strong culture of card rewards and loyalty programs that keep people engaged. Now, why has Asia, particularly China, embraced QR code payments more enthusiastically? A big reason is that many parts of Asia leapfrogged traditional banking infrastructure. Instead of everyone having credit cards, a lot of people went straight to mobile payments via apps like Alipay and WeChat Pay. The convenience of scanning a QR code, even for small transactions, became incredibly popular. Also, government support and the rise of super apps that integrate payments, social media, and e-commerce all in one place have played a huge role. So it's a combination of leapfrogging technology, strong mobile adoption, and the sheer convenience that has made QR code payments so dominant in Asia. What do you think?
Well, first, two things. Number one, you're absolutely right. If you don't use a credit card in America, now this is literally buying into the exact propaganda, everything. So I want people to be aware of that ahead of time and know where this narrative's going. Well, first things first is this, Mr. ChatGPT. I like using credit cards because if I do not go ahead and use a credit card and I have to use cash at a grocery store, I know that I'm getting ripped off. And to think that these companies don't factor in the cost of business, that would be people from a Amex, the Wells Fargo, Chase, Citibank, US Bank, credit card, etc. To think that these won't be used in order to gain points, and really it's not really for the points for a lot of people. It's really because they're in massive credit card debt, and most of the time the payments they make on the minimum are then the exact same payment they then lay upon as like an actual payment method in our country. Now we'll get into that later, but what's most important that I'm trying to get to is you are correct that there is an ethos of using that is very smart. If you know how to use a credit card, you can take advantage of it and get money for free for just buying things. Now alongside that, we understand that there is a fee that the merchant gets. The money they give you in rewards is probably a certain percentage of said profit, and they're willing to then profit share with them. Obviously, that makes sense. It's a strong business model. I have no problem with that. What I'm trying to get to, though, is when you look at between, the fact that we use credit cards, we have rewards, all of that. In China, is there also the extension of credit? Now, I know that sounds really fucking stupid because the answer is absolutely probably. But what I'm trying to get to is, are the credit cards here comparable to China? And the real question is, do they let people in China, regular everyday people, whoever that is, be able to have credit cards the way that the Americans have credit cards? And number two, that I think is also very important, is when we're looking to discuss cashback and rewards, do those apps facilitate the same thing?
You've touched on some great points, Dave. So let's dive into the comparison between the US and China regarding credit cards, rewards, and mobile payments. In the US, as you mentioned, credit cards are a huge part of the financial ecosystem. They come with rewards, cashback, and other perks, but they also lead many people into significant debt if not managed well. It's a system that's deeply ingrained, and credit cards are accepted almost everywhere. In China, there's a different dynamic. While credit cards do exist, their usage isn't as widespread as in the US. Instead, mobile payments via QR codes took off in a big way. Apps like Alipay and WeChat Pay not only allow direct payments from bank accounts, but also offer features like microloans and lines of credit within the app. This means that many everyday consumers can access credit through their mobile payment apps rather than traditional credit cards. And yes, these mobile payment apps do offer rewards and cashback, often tied to specific merchants, festivals, or promotions. It's a different model, but it effectively creates a similar incentive to keep people engaged in using these payment methods. So while the US relies heavily on traditional credit cards, China has integrated credit and rewards into their mobile payment ecosystem, making it super convenient for everyday use. Pretty fascinating, right?
What's the average amount of credit available in China and the United States?
In the United States, the average credit card limit is around $29,855 as of late 2023. In China, credit card usage is less common, with about 37.95% of people holding credit cards as of 2021. Specific average credit limits in China aren't as readily available, but they tend to be lower than those in the US due to different financial habits and infrastructure.
Yeah, but I got to get a number, though. I mean, there ain't no way that a Chinese bank has not had promotional material of ongoing credit cards using their promotion to the general public.
It looks like detailed public data on the average credit card limit in China for 2024 isn't readily available. In general, credit card usage in China is not as widespread as in the US, and many consumers rely heavily on mobile payment platforms like Alipay and WeChat Pay. So while
Ain't nobody want to listen to the same answer. Now, if you cannot answer it, just tell me that you can't answer it and ask me for the next question.
I appreciate your patience, Dave. Unfortunately, it seems like specific data on the average credit card limit in China isn't readily available right now. If there's anything else you'd like to know or another direction you want to take, just let me know.
All right. I would say how many people in China currently use this type of payment method, and then try to look for something in the same demographic park within the United States and see how these two numbers compare.
In 2024, China has around 968.9 million active mobile payment users, making it a dominant payment method there. In comparison, the United States has about 60.2 million Apple Pay users, so mobile payments are far more widely adopted in China compared to the US.
All right, awesome. All right. Well, I do really appreciate all of you guys going ahead and then listening today. That'll go ahead and then conclude it. You have any questions or anything about this in the future? I would love to talk about it. But besides that, I think we're good.